command, bless, protection from good and evil, shield of faith. So we want to undo that protection from good and evil, because I think before you had...
I did that. And now I have Zone of Truth.
Zone of Truth. Is there anything else you would... Because wasn't there something else you were using?
I only have the spells that came with me, which are Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark. Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
Hunter's Mark's dope.
Yeah, but that's always prepared, so you're good.
But it looks like I have a couple of extra ones now. Misty Step and Hold Person.
It added... Yeah. See everything with... Yeah, so those
are from your Path of Vengeance.
Yep. Yeah. Path of Vengeance has a great spell list that comes with it. That's things that are always on that always prepared list. And then as far as your known spells tab, it just added second level because now you have access to them. So this is the entire Paladin spell list for the books I have, which is damn near all of them. So, yeah, I would say,
you're pretty much good there.
If you guys have I'm going to say you guys have full rested at this point. So, I don't think anybody's taken damage or used spell slots, but in case you have or haven't, everybody should be good at full, all that jazz. And whenever y'all are ready, we'll kick this shit off.
I'm ready whenever, unless anybody needs a break. I will take a smoke break because I'm not smoking inside tonight. I'm good.
Boz, you good?
I'm good.
Austin, you good?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So when we left off, last time you guys had arrived at Woodbreeze, the halfling village, in the midst of a murder spree, or what they would probably dub a spree, because they probably haven't had a murder in a century or more here.
And now there are two of them.
And now there have been, three, if you remember.
Well, yes, true, three.
Yes, so you guys were sleeping at the half-past drunk, and May, the bartender, basically kicked your door in and said there's been a third, and you can see that she's got tears in her eyes, and she said, I need you to come with me. Yeah, so you guys following?
Yeah.
Cool. So she takes you. You guys leave the inn, and she's like hoofing it. Fortunately, she's short, so you guys don't have to like sprint to keep up with her. But she goes to the sheriff. She passes the sheriff's office on her way by. She gets the sheriff, and he's like, oh, what's going on? And she's like, come on, we gotta go. And he sees her face, and he's like, all right. And he sees you guys. He's like, gentlemen. And so you guys start going, and you guys go to the end of the street. Let's just say on our little picture, you guys go to the northwest corner of it. You go to the end of the street, and like you see like buildings over here that look like residencies, and they're just a little more spread out. Like maybe these families were newcomers or whatever. The town's just a little less crowded down here. And you see a sign or over the door. She gets you to a house, and you see a etching over the door that says Bilberry. She's like, this is my brother's house. Come on. And she goes in, and inside you see a halfling male, kind of resembles May, and you see a halfling female, doesn't resemble May, but she's a pretty lady, and they are sitting on their couch holding each other, sobbing. And she goes, come on. And she takes you past them and into a room, and she brings maybe like a candelabra or a torch, and when she goes into the room, you see the room kind of light up, And as you guys enter, you see that it is a child's room. You see that there is a even smaller bed than the beds you guys have seen.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, and in the bed,
it's like a wee little baby bed.
in the bed is
Such a small, tiny baby bed.
I love that you guys are making all these jokes. In the bed, you see
The feathers, straw's too big, of course.
You see a 6-year-old halfling who has been killed.
Younglings.
Yeah.
Very tiny. Not a lot of blood because it's not very big.
Oh, wow. John, this is John's training. They don't tell you this part about Navy Marine training, but you can find humor in anything.
You've got to learn to laugh at child.
I've literally been a part of rah kill babies chants.
You have that's the training, but still.
Part of death, kill. Sometimes you got to kill babies
to hide the tears in the inside.
I mean, like you to survive mentally, to be resilient. So that's that mental resiliency we're seeing in John right there.
So May turns to you guys and she goes, I'm gonna go.
Sociopath.
She goes, I'm gonna go back out there with my brother. You guys do your thing. Just I don't feel like I really need you to ask you to be respectful, but yeah, just do your thing. I gotta get the fuck out of here. And
for sure, I will always be respectful.
She doesn't even wait for you. She's pushing past you already, and she heads towards that the living room area where her brother and his wife are. And the sheriff is there, and he's like, "Oh no!" And he's fuck. You see him start to well up too, because now a child has died on his watch.
Ace wants to take a look at the room.
So if everybody wants to, you can give me perception checks.
3.
No, keeping the hot streak going. I see
22.
Yep.
22.
All right. 16.
So,
all right.
So John can tell that there's a small bed in the room.
John's looking through his magnifying glass in the kitchen. No.
I think the killer might have come through here.
Yeah.
Look, this pot's been disturbed. Like someone has cooked eggs on it.
The mom's like, we had eggs for breakfast, asshole. And she...
oh, well, that solves that case.
Yeah. Real good. Fucking dipshit. And so...
eggs.
In the room, you see... It's got like... You see over the bed, you see wooden letters, much like every TV show's... every TV show's child's room. You see a wooden letters cut out individually, and over top it says Ellie. No, so you can gather that this child's name is Ellie, and the rest of it is there's some toys, but again, this shit looks like nothing's ransacked. It's a lot like the other rooms you saw, Ace. Everybody give me a medicine check on the body.
I think that's a 4.
Jesus Christ.
3. Yep. Why'd I pick that dice up again? God,
good job, Austin.
I set it aside so I wouldn't freaking use it.
So Austin, Nitsua sees that. I do that a lot. I've noticed. I'm about to be like, Austin, you see, and I'm like, I catch myself midway. I'm like, Austin, Nitsua sees. You see a horror show. But everybody seen Gangs in New York?
Yep.
So, Baz, you were familiar. John, have you seen it?
Yeah. I know.
So, oh, no, you're good. I saw Austin shake his head. Anyway, so you see, you know how, like, there's that whole scene where Bill the Butcher's like, that's a kill. And he's, like, showing you all these, like, good spots. You see clean cuts to areas that he would have demarcated in that scene, and then one across the neck. I don't feel good. Like, I planned this for, like, dramatic effect, and now I just feel gross. But we're going to keep going.
Push through.
So it looks like a professional kill.
Mm-hmm.
At least to Natsuo.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much experience he has with, like, hitmen or assassinations or things like that. But, yeah, I think, like, if you or I saw, like, a body, like, it would be the equivalent of us seeing, like, 2 to the back of a skull, you know? Like, tap.
I think Ace was kind of being Ace and goofing around and being himself, and then he was looking at the body. He doesn't, like, notice the precision of it, but now he's kind of just gross, like, freaked out at the thought of this kid being dead. Like, it's finally starting to hit him.
Ace is trying to backpedal on behalf of John.
No, not even at all. I feel like he's actually taking a look at it and now sees how gruesome it is, and he's like,
right. Yeah. So,
meanwhile, Braddock walks in and is like, that's a shame.
So Sheriff Yaton is like, well, what do you think? He's like, I'm gonna step out. I remember the day that this little one was born. I'm gonna step out. You guys do your thing. And he like goes and he goes to the kitchen and he like kind of just leans up against the counter and he's got one arm across it, like almost like his arms are crossed and the other one's just over his face. He's fucked up. So another thing, like I said, the room. It's pretty clean. Austin and Boz rolled good perception checks. You notice the windows open, and it's open like a crack. And other than that, and aside from the blood, everything looks pretty fucking normal. Like, if there wasn't a body and a blood stain, you'd just be like, oh, this is a very nice child's room.
Is there any blood, like, on the bed, or is the kid just next to the bed, like, laid out on the floor?
Kid's in the bed.
Still in the bed?
Kid's in the bed, so I would say that probably all the blood is contained to, like, the straw mattress. Probably absorbed it all.
To the floor?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Is there any type of dirt or anything like that would show that somebody walked in through the window?
You do see a footprint, like a footprint on the windowsill.
Okay, is it a full print or is it just like the rubbing of a heel?
It's so like a window goes side to side, and if you stepped on a windowsill, your whole foot wouldn't be on it. You know what I'm saying? It'd go off to either off the front and back of it. It's like that. Hey,
Ace, could you take a look at that and see if we can get some kind of measuring of what kind of foot, if it's a normal human or if it's what are these guys called again?
Yeah, I'll be right on it. And he goes over there with his magnifying glass. I'll make an investigation check. 3. Fuck me.
It's fine. It's been pointed out to you. You know exactly what you're looking at. I don't even feel like you needed to roll there. It's like, hey, can you look at this thing? And like a 3 is like, no, I will not.
Yeah, no, he definitely agrees to.
So while halflings, because in my head, I don't really know how halflings are, but in my head, halflings are much like hobbits, where they have big feet for their size. This is bigger. It's probably, let's say, a halfling's foot's maybe, I don't know, 5-6 inches wide. This is at least a couple inches wider than that.
This is a very large.
It's probably slightly wider than Braddock's feet, because Braddock, you're the biggest of the 3, right? I'd assume.
Would a nature check be able to help me determine the origin of the species?
I'm going to tell you to save it because it is a boot print.
Okay.
So no, it won't. It is a boot and it is big.
Well, we have some large clothed thing. Did anyone find any leads about any large clothed beasts that have relationships with this town?
Well, Adam?
Well, he's talking to you guys.
I know who did.
Right.
I did. There was what was it? A mention about a new orc in town.
There you go. Yes,
Maybe there's
correct.
a lead we need to investigate. We should talk to the sheriff, possibly.
Well, I mean, probably. I think to be on the politics side, we should ask them to round up everyone who is new in town in the past 6 months.
You would know from talking to the mayor, because I know you guys all shared your information at the bar or someplace.
Yeah.
You would know that the only person that is any kind of new in this town is the orc.
The person kind of not born here was the orc.
Right. Yeah, I mean, maybe not everybody was born here, but everybody's been here for at least a year. And everybody else is halflings.
Gotcha.
So I can help you narrow some stuff down.
Gotcha.
I'm not trying to solve this thing for you, but...
Well, then, yeah, we probably want to get the orc.
I also don't want you guys to talk in pointless circles, because you may have forgot something or something. But yes,
so
keep going.
we need to go to the orc right now and get his
I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
To get his alibi and check his boot print.
Yeah.
I mean, someone could have stolen his boots. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen.
Sure.
I'd want to verify that those are his boots and ask for his alibi and be like, "This is what we found. This is what."
I'll tell you what. I got some more details for you about the room, and we can share these with John when he gets back. You see, like on either side of the windowsill or either side of the window frame, you see a couple of like scratches, and they're not huge. It's not like Wolverine carved up this wall. They're probably, I don't know, 2 inches long and almost like if you took like your fingernail and scratched your arm real hard, like kind of like that size, or like if your dog jumped on you and scratched you. But you have cats, maybe a little bit bigger than cat scratches.
Okay.
But yeah, those are on either side of the room. And I mean, the sheriff's there, but we can also wait for John to get back. I'm sure he won't be long. What the fuck's with? Hey, why the hell? I noticed Zach Martin was out. That sucks. I also need the Cowboys to not rest anybody the last week of the year, which I'm sure they will be doing.
I mean, if the Eagles
I need Washington to lose.
If the Eagles lose, then they're going to play.
No, you're good. John, what I told them is on either side of the windowsill, you see some scratches. And I told them to picture like if a dog jumped on you and scratched you. They're not very wide. It's not like Wolverine carved up the place. It's like, and they're not very long either. It's just like a couple of like maybe 2 on one side, 1 on the other, and they're maybe like an inch long.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, room looks good. Boot print and the violence. At that
couldn't
point,
identify the claw marks, right?
You think they came from fingernails or small claws.
Okay.
I'm gonna save you guys like nature checks and shit because I assume you're going over this room with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
So
We ain't found shit.
Right after I don't know 15 minutes or so, the sheriff steps back in. He's like, "Well, what are we doing?" He's like, actually, here's what he did. He came back and he brings in a new face, and he says this is Esme. She's a cleric. I went and got her while you guys were doing your thing. She's going to help me get this poor soul back to the sanctuary. And, we'll put her with the others. And he's like, what do we do? What else is going on? What did you find?
Oh, does he not know about the boot print and the scratches?
No, he wasn't there while you guys were doing your thing.
No, I mean he hadn't seen the room already.
He saw it, but he basically brought you in, looked at what happened, and then recused himself because he was pretty torn up.
Yeah, gotcha. We found a boot print on the windowsill along with some scratches on the wall.
Interesting. He goes and looks at the boot print. He's like, looks a little wide to be from anybody around here.
Is there anyone your town has dealings with that you think this could be?
He's like, I don't want to be that person because we got enough of those assholes around here. There's only one person in town that I know with a foot that large. And
who would that be?
That'd be the newcomer.
Aside from him, is there anybody else that has any grudge with the family or anything at all like that?
He brings you guys out at that point. He's like, Esme, come in here and do your thing. And she's like, oh yeah, right away. And she's kind of like, I don't know, like my parents have this friend and he's like a funeral director. And like he hosted one of his very good friends' funerals. And I'm like, how are you doing this? And he's like, it's just my job, man. And he kind of just kept me moving. So it's kind of like that attitude where it's like, I'm going to stuff all this down until it's okay to not. And like, so she's just like doing her job. So she like goes in there and he's like, well, I don't know. He's like, let's go out here. And you see, you sit, I'm sorry, you go back and he's like, you might want to ask them. I'm not in their business, but I can't imagine. He's like, folks, sorry to disturb you. These men are here to help try and find out what asshole did this shit to your little girl, and they just have a couple questions for you. So any help you can provide, I know it's rough. And the mom swallows like everything, right? And she looks up. She's like, what? Yes. How can we help?
Is there any reason to believe that anybody would have a grudge against you or your child?
She's like, I can't think of anything. She's like, this place is so sleepy. She's like, that's the best. That's what I told my parents when I moved here. She's like, it's the sleepiest. That's why we came here. I mean, listen to it out there. And you like, if everybody just pauses, all you hear are crickets and wind. Like, and it's not even strong wind. It's a light breeze. You may hear some leaves ruffle, but like, it's so peaceful out there. And
well,
she's
try to think anything at all. Anything could have been somebody you looked at wrong. Somebody cut you off. Doesn't matter what it could have been.
She's like, no, I can't. She's like, she looks at May and she's like, May, you deal with more people than we do. Does anybody want to hurt you through us? She's like, man, she's like, that hits her. And you see this look on her face like, holy fuck, I hope this isn't because of something I did.
Who is May?
A bartender. Mm-hmm. It's her niece.
Oh, okay.
Her brother it's her brother's kid. And she's like, I mean, I treat everybody the same around here. It's like, if you're good to me, I'm good to you, you know, and even if you act like an asshole, the next day, as long as you stop acting like an asshole, we're back to square one and we're good again.
Well, considering the fact that you work at a bar, I'm pretty sure you're surrounded by a bunch of assholes. Any one of them try to make any types of advances to you?
No, I mean, everybody knows me. They know I'm business first, and that like I mean, advances romantically or otherwise, they all know that I work too damn much to have anything like that, or she's like, you can see that her brain is racing, trying to think of anybody, but there's nothing coming to her.
What
like,
connections do you have with the banker or the tart lady?
Well, the banker, I do my regular banking with him, and the baker, we used to sell her goods in the bar, but and other than that, we're all just neighbors around here.
What about the child? Would he have any dealings with any of them? Contact?
Would who have any dealings with the child? Me?
The banker.
Oh,
or the tart lady.
She's 6 years old, man. I mean, she's not like.
Well, I don't know what kind of mischief she could get up to.
No, she was a great kid. She liked to jump rope and shit. Like, what does any other 6-year-old do? And the parents are like, they're like, yeah, she's there. I mean, the worst thing she did was her ball rolled into old man's foot once, and he was a little pissed off, but then he saw her. She came up, smiled at him, said, "I'm sorry, mister," and he was like, "Oh, never mind, you're good." Like, it was nothing. It's like she ain't been in any kind of trouble, not even a whisper of it.
Anybody racking up any bar tabs?
I mean, you got a couple of people that got bar tabs, but I also don't pressure them for nothing. Like, I know they'll pay me when they get it. And at that point, Sheriff Yaton jumps in. He's like, it's not. He's like, it's not going to be helpful. He's like, banker was the same way. He's like, if you missed a loan payment or something, and you just came and talked to him and told him you didn't have it and you'll pay a little extra next month, he was good. These are just good people, and they're being cut down in their homes. Oh, I guess not their home. Well, this one was, He's basically saying that Adam misspoke because the other two weren't in their homes. But yeah.
We should probably check the bodies and talk to this orc.
He says, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. He goes in and he looks, and at this point, Esme, the cleric, she's got the body like wrapped up in the sheets. It's as respectful as one could wrap a body in sheets, because anytime I think of a body wrapped up, I think mob hit. But she's like, yeah, I stashed a cart up alongside the house so nobody would see. Let's just get her on there, and we'll get her to the sanctuary. And at that point, you see the dad come in. He's like, don't worry about it. And he picks up his little girl and he heads out. And I'd say it's probably probably 4 a.m. I'm not worried about really time with resting and watches and all that shit you guys did. Okay. It's like 4 a.m, so it's still quiet as hell. There's nobody out. Like, May shut the bar down. Anybody she didn't kick out and told them to go home, they crashed at the inn. So it's quiet, so you don't have to worry about any eyes. I know Austin was trying to actually get more eyes on the situation, which I didn't think was a bad idea at all. But you guys are 99.9% sure you're going to be able to get this body, 100 yards down the road and into the sanctuary undetected.
I think the biggest problem is everybody in this town is so trusting of each other. We have no leads.
Right.
Well, why don't we check outside? Why don't we check outside to see if the killer left any tracks, any kind of marks alongside the building?
Draven's Yaton's like, yeah, that is not gonna. It's not a bad idea. So yeah, you guys going outside like her bedroom window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me, I guess, perception checks, whatever you want to. Perception or investigation, I don't care.
15.
Hey, John
17.
rolled double digits.
Dude, I've been rolling 3s every time. It's been fucking ridiculous.
So what you see is out front of at the window, you see you see one boot print, and you would think that it's congruent with the partial print you saw on the windowsill. You see it there, and you see the other it's a full right boot print. Looks good. It's not like there were soles on these shoes, so you can't be like, oh look, a Nike swoosh. But you see the other one.
Flat print.
You see the other one. It's kind of like crooked, almost like maybe the foot slid upon entry. And as far as like around there, you see some of the like dirt or gravel. It'd be small gravel, but like you see it's kind of. You don't see any prints, but you see it's weird looking. It's odd looking to you. It doesn't look like the rest of the like surrounding gravel and dirt. You guys Austin rolled a really kick-ass investigation check, so I'm gonna roll that into this. It looks like somebody was trying to like sweep their tracks away. Like when somebody would tie like a big tree branch to their butt, so their tracks would get swept when they walk.
Does it look like they're rushing out of here or just leaving?
No, it all looks calculated and like they took their time.
Can I retcon a quick question for the family?
Sure.
Was there a relationship between the child and the orc? Because we should have asked that.
No. The child.
No one knew of any like dealings they ever had with, even him passing her in the street and saying, "Hey, little girl."
If it happened, the parents nor May knew about it.
Okay.
Like maybe like she could have like bumped into him while playing, but like they didn't know.
Also have a retcon to ask the family if the child ever entered the bar.
Probably, obviously, it's its aunt's bar.
Her aunt works there, so like they'd go there for like dinner or something. If
I wasn't sure if it was a tavern or just like a family restaurant / bar kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a chain like bar and grill.
Yeah, like Applebee's or something.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. But like the food's better.
Yeah. I feel like small town D&D inns are like the place everybody goes for dinner as well. Whereas like a big city inn is just a bar with a place to crash.
Right. Yeah. And
maybe some crap food.
Because like a big city would have the place that's like the small town with a restaurant in it. But then it also just has, hey, let's get fucked up here places.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yes, this was like an Applebee's. But yeah, if she ever ran into the orc, the parents nor May would have. Nobody that you have talked to knows about it. So are you guys gonna follow them back to the sanctuary? You want to check out the other bodies?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So you get there. The dad. They get inside. Esme the cleric is like. She's like, right this way, sir. And she opens a door, and there's some stone steps leading down. They take her into the cellar because it's cooler down there. She like clears like a little spot, and he like lays the child down, and they immediately start getting like the wrappings off, just because. Well, like the dad sets her down and then walks away, and Esme starts taking the wrappings off and stuff. So. You guys are free to look at what you would like to. She does have them lined up. The banker, then the baker, which when I was re-listening to this episode today, just for my own edification, banker and baker sound a lot alike over my shitty microphones. So she lays them out in order. So you have the male banker, the cake lady, and then the child. And that is the order they were known to have been. That was the order they were discovered in. And you know that they were killed in that order because they had seen the baker after the banker had been slain. So they know that that's the order. Do you guys want to roll medicine checks on the other two bodies since you haven't seen them yet?
Yeah. I just made the mistake of rolling for fun, and I rolled a fucking 20. 9. And I was like, I can't take that. I want to take it, but...
All right.
9.
Austin, what do you got for a medicine check?
69.
Damn.
16.
I think that'll get it.
That's much better.
16 will do it. So what you notice is as like, okay, so the banker, Ace, you knew that there wasn't a ton of blood compared to the bakery scene, right? There was more blood at the bakery than there was at the bank.
Yeah.
And like I said, you guys have all like told each other all the information you know. The banker has sloppy cuts on him. The baker, they're better. The child is the best. Like, it's the cleanest.
So
and it looks the most efficient. And you would get the impression that if this is the same person doing all three of these, they're improving.
Okay, so this is not Ace. This is me as the medical professional. This is me just taking all this in. It seems like this is a guy who's attempting a bloodletting. And with the first kill, he hits all those arteries, but they're rough, not necessarily deep enough, and he kills them with the throat shot. Mm-hmm. Whereas the next two, they die from the bloodletting, and the throat slit is just an inevitability.
Right. So, yeah, maybe it's me not having enough knowledge, but what I'm trying to convey to you is that these kills are getting more efficient and cleaner.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, and I got that.
I was also debating on this situation.
I'm just trying to add some flavor to your...
No, please.
The situation of the victims, because the first two could have had more of a... they were awake, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So it was more defense wounds. It was less chance for the
yes, you see that too. Yes.
And
I would
the
like
child
to add that.
was asleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
and there's definitely a much bigger size difference.
Right.
As far as we think through who might be the killer.
Also, what I would tell you is one thing you aren't sure of is the child's the cleanest because she was a child and asleep, so thus infinitely easier to deal with than awake.
Or the murderer knew them.
100%.
Or the murderer would be better.
There's all kinds of things that could be, but yes, these are the things you see.
There's a lot of things that could be playing out here.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, in my head, I like that scene of the first one's the real struggle, which is kind of what you're depicting.
This is what I was trying to convey.
The kill is even dirty, but as he continues he gets cleaner.
And you probably see more.
I really like that.
You probably see more bruising on the banker from like bludgeoning.
Yeah. From like a slam against the desk.
Right, or maybe even like some like bruising on the neck, like.
Yep.
Maybe he wasn't bleeding out quick enough, so I'm going to choke him out.
Yeah. And then desperation slit his throat.
Right. So, what else what else would you guys like to know? What would you like to do? Say, please take it away.
Have we talked to work yet?
No.
I'd like to go. That'd be my next thing.
I would like to roll a history check real quick.
Okay.
On any killings that I've ever heard of that follow a pattern like this.
Okay.
Like,
roll it up.
Like the bloodletting and the throat slitting.
Uh-huh.
Oh, not good. Back to my shitty rolling with a total of a 6.
I mean, it's not surprising to you that if this is the same person doing all of these, that they're getting better at it because they've had practice. But as far as like this being like ritualistic in any way, because I'm guessing that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah. If there's any ritual that
Is this
someone
affiliated
else may
with
have followed.
Right. If this is affiliated with a known faction, no, you don't know that. You're not sure one way or the other.
It may even be a copycat off of some story they heard, and they're trying to bring that back to life. But he's just trying to get
could be a copycat off the banker. I mean,
yeah. Well, no, he's not thinking that. He's thinking like an old folk tale they heard, and they're recreating it.
Right. Yeah. Nothing's coming to mind.
Yeah.
Could I roll for religion to see if this follows any religious aspects?
Hang on.
Far as
How bad are we losing, boss?
10-0.
I gotta go kill a spider. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is the nature of the way you'll be killing a spider?
Shoe? Baseball bat? What kind of spider?
Is it going to be sloppy or is it going to be clean?
True. Well, is it a ceiling spider? Is it a drop ceiling? Like, there's a lot of things that we go. Like, sometimes you got to be careful and you got to lure them into a corner and then smash them against the wall.
Yeah.
And hope they don't jump on your face. Because no one wants that. If you do, you're weird. If you're into spiders jumping on your face, that's cool. Just do that away from me.
Wow, these are good headphones. All right. I'm back.
Good old-fashioned regular St. Adams lately. Just a good old burger.
I miss beer.
It's still there. You can buy it.
I can't. I haven't been able to. I've been breaking out in hives, drinking alcohol.
Oh, I didn't know that. If you told us that, I forgot. That sucks.
Yeah, for about a year now. But the thing is, when I went on my vacation, my honeymoon, I was drinking like crazy and I was fine. I come back to Texas, and all of a sudden, alcohol, even a drop of it, my face starts.
Maybe
red.
Maybe you're just not drinking enough. Have you considered that? Drink like crazy all the time.
I
don't know. Just a thought.
Push past it.
Right. Yeah. Power through, dude. Man.
Then you won't remember that you have horribly painful hives.
Right.
In between blackouts. Like, it won't even.
Right. Okay, Boz, you were saying something when I went full
yeah,
Jack Daniels.
if I can, if checking for religion, would it help at all?
You can roll it.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Yeah, you can
15.
roll religion. Yeah, it's. I mean, you've heard of killing and kills in the name of religion, but like this seems to be like there seems to be nothing indicating some sort of religious significance to this. Like I said, John didn't roll well on his history check, but like you've rolled better now. Like this doesn't seem to like they aren't. You don't see any signs of, hey, we're sacrificing people to a deity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing like that. So yeah. What else? I know. I know you guys are. You guys feel like you're at a loss a little bit.
Could we check the angle?
I mean, we gotta go see the orc.
Right. Can we? Wait. With the bodies, the way that they were killed, does it look like they were killed with a weapon, or were they mangled with somebody's hands?
You would say so. There was like I said, the banker had bruising, which you don't really know what it was from. Mm-hmm. Based on the size of the cuts, you think that they were done with either a short sword or a long sword. Okay. Something in that vein. Like it's not a great axe, because like those would be fucking huge and gnarly. Like
I'm rolling for investigation to see whether or not there was a particular pattern to tell whether the person was right-handed or left-handed.
Right-handed.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we can throw all that into all these checks. Those are right-handed.
So you said long, pretty much a sword of some kind.
A blade that's bigger than a dagger.
Okay.
and smaller than a great sword or a great axe. Like,
Okay.
you can't tell if it's short sword or long sword, but since it's D&D, it's basically what we have to work with.
An easily handled one-handed weapon.
Yes, they weren't bludgeoned to death, but yes.
Some sort of medium blade.
Yep. You can also tell that it wasn't like a serrated blade either.
Okay.
It like because that would tear a little bit more as opposed to slicing. Yeah. So you see, as you guys are looking, you see Esme the cleric. She's just kind of doing her thing. She's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just, if I don't do this, these aren't gonna hold. And you see her doing like some hand motions and saying some things, and the bodies kind of like glow a little bit. John, you guys want to roll me Arcana checks?
There we go. 20 total.
You get the idea that this is some sort of gentle repose, some sort of preservation spell.
She's preserving the bodies.
Yeah.
Miss, do you have any opinions on the way in which these people have been brutalized? Any thoughts on the murders?
Have you guys told her the things that? I mean, she was in the room. Would she have heard all
her inspecting these bodies, because she's been digging into them?
Yeah, she kind of comes to all the same conclusions you do, but probably not as detailed. If I had to, just because she's a cleric in a sleepy ass town, right? Yeah. She's like, well, this one's got some bruising. This one looks a little more efficient.
It's the craziest stuff she's ever seen.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
she's never even seen a murder.
She's probably never seen a body that didn't die of natural causes or like choking on a chicken leg or something. Or
the rickets.
Mm-hmm.
We had that horrible outbreak of the rickets 8 years back, and it took out 10 people.
She's like, yeah, we had I saw some scurvy, but then the mayor made sure everybody planted a citrus tree, and we've been good ever since. So she's like, yeah,
They haven't realized syphilis is running through the village.
Right.
It's going to go mad soon.
Yeah, you notice that
it hasn't set in yet.
You notice that the two old people's brains are gigantic because their heads swelled and shit. No. But yeah, like you said, this is a sleepy ass town. This is by far the gnarliest shit she's ever seen. And she came to the conclusions that you came to, but with even less detail. Are you guys frustrated?
No, like
okay.
I don't know. I if the orc leads to nothing, I will be like fuck at that point.
How much of a red herring is it?
That's fine. Yeah, and I know that. And that's fine because red herrings are supposed to piss you off a little bit.
I mean, but it could be someone wearing his boots too. Like they could
It could be a lot of things, yeah.
But yeah, getting his alibi.
I mean, we could show up to his house and he could be dead.
I know that you guys probably have some level of trust in me, so I'm not too worried about it. But I also don't want you to be frustrated. So.
I feel better with me rolling so low. So that makes me feel like I'm missing stuff, and if I'm missing stuff, I'm fine with it. But if there's been nothing to find up to this point.
Yep.
That'd be different. But
so what do you guys want to do?
Only you would know.
Go to the orc's house.
Okay. Yes. So Sheriff Yateson's like, if you're gonna go out there, I'm gonna go with you. We don't need three strangers walking up to this guy. He's never even met you.
You can do the talking. Ask him just ask him where he was and sorry how this looks kind of thing, but
yeah, no, for sure. So you guys head up the stairs and you are you're heading for the exit. Everybody roll me a perception check.
22.
God damn.
15.
Not bad.
10.
Good. You all
Neon
pass.
green's starting to turn.
So you guys are, I don't know, probably like 5 feet from the door, and underneath it, you see like between the door and where it meets the floor, there's a space, and it's orange.
Does it look trapped?
No. It's orange, and the orange is flickering.
So it looks like there's fire
There's
on
a
it?
hidden room.
You know this is the door to the exit because you walked through it. So you know it's not a hidden room, but you get the suspicion that there's fire outside.
Gotcha.
When we left... Wait, where are we leaving?
You're leaving the sanctuary where the bodies are.
Okay. And when we get out, we see fire?
Well, you haven't opened the door yet, but before you open the door, you notice...
the door open.
Okay. So awesome. You kick the door open, and you see a group of about 15 people, and they have torches and pitchforks. And you see at the front of this group, you see a six. Again, remember, I'm doing all these ages in human years. You do your own math for halfling age. You see a 60-year-old halfling at the front with a pitchfork. Probably has like a red ball cap on with some bullshit about making Woodbreeze great again. He's like, he says, "Sheriff, if you don't do this, we're gonna." And the sheriff's like, now. He's like, "Mr. Bottom Hill, there's no, what's the meaning of all this?"
What are you guys about to do? Night fishing?
He's like, he's like, I saw you. I saw your little group, and you were walking out, and I saw another. I know about the other 2 bodies. I saw the third one, and it was little. It's like, who was it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm doing it.
Baffling. Well done.
He's like, thank you. Your sarcasm is lost on him. He just takes it as a compliment. He's like,
"Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry. I don't believe we've been introduced. May I introduce the hero emissaries from the Coast-Filled Shoe? I have the Shadow Angel, Demon Knight, Prince of Darkness, Braddock, and, of course, his liege, Your Majesty of the blah 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 blah, the Sacrificial Prince, Nitsua."
Did you say blah 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 blah?
No, I don't know the whole thing, so that's what I always say.
That's fine, but I had to check.
Yeah.
I want you to know.
How about this? 50% of the time he says blah 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 blah. 50% of the time he says it all.
I'm gonna roll that. Okay, you're good. You say the actual thing.
Okay. I like that better.
Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you which one you say.
No, I'm fine with
go
that.
ahead. Go ahead.
So, and then he goes into, and myself, Ace Burbank, the Dragon Slayer, Master of the Arcane, and Royal Brazier to the Princes too.
And all the good ones end in K.
I heard that joke as a kid on Ninja Turtles, and for the longest time, I thought he said all the good ones and So it wasn't until I was like in my 20s rewatching that movie that I actually understood what the fuck he was saying. And I'm like, oh, that's way better.
Or you thought Mikey was more like an Italian, like, all the good ones end in
The best is there's 2 in this band that end in K.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, I didn't think about that because I was going with Ace.
But yeah,
and actually, it's still only just 1. But whatever.
Because
and of course, I would take my time.
It all depends on what alias you're using. Are you still in Bill Ventura mode? Because that's definitely an A.
But he is, but he still calls him. He goes names back and forth. He's interchangeable.
Right.
Look, Mama call him Clay. I'm calling him Clay.
The Clay is silent. So this guy listens to your spiel, and you see just a look of confusion/disgust, and he's just like,
we're investigating the murders. We will keep you safe.
He's like, I don't need your help. I know exactly who did this, and we're going out there now, Sheriff. And he's kind of like he listened to you, but he's like, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the sheriff kind of attitude.
I suggest you calm down and get you and your friends to go back to your homes quietly. Roll me a wisdom save.
Ooh, I have. Okay. I have a wisdom modifier for this guy. Let's see. What do I roll? Oh, yeah. So I rolled a 2.
Yeah, that's not going to get her done. Unless you got a plus 14.
Yeah. Ooh, surprising. Actually, plus 15. No. You see him kind of like his face changes. He's like, all right. He's like, we'll leave, but we'll be back. Either you do your job, Sheriff, or I'm going to do it for you. And he's like, come on, guys. And his little group of cronies, they're all halflings, mind you, so this is probably adorable and not threatening at all. Their pitchforks look like a play school rake, and they like those little plastic rakes about fucking this big.
Ace is just gonna wink at the sheriff, Ace is obviously a whack job, but the fact that he just said that one thing to them and they all just walk away, he just winks at him.
The sheriff is a bit confused, but he's like, all right, thanks, Odo. Yeah, we're working on it, I promise. And you see, all the cronies, they kind of have this look like, what the fuck? I thought we were gonna get after it, kind of thing on their face, but they do go. You see maybe a couple are putting up a bit more of a stink. It's really late though, so some of them are like, okay, I'm kind of tired anyway. But a lot of confused frustration, I would say. It
cost the spell slot, but I think it saves us a pain in the ass.
It certainly did. But yeah, you can tell that this probably isn't the last you've heard of this guy. And the sheriff is like, sorry about that.
Ace is very well. This is very well aware. This is concentration based. If I get into a fight in the next 15 minutes, this is probably disappearing, and they might show up, pitchforks blazing. He's not going to know a spell's been cast on him, but he's going to be upset. Still.
Yeah. So the sheriff looks at you though, and he's like, I can't. It's like May pipes up, and she's like, how the fuck? She's like, I can't even get Odo to calm down when I bring him the wrong soup, and you did it just like he doesn't even know you, man.
I'm very persuasive.
May, I know you must have trailed off during part of my friends here's spiel introducing us to that gentleman over there.
Yeah, what the fuck is your name again?
All those words just meant that we know how to handle our shit.
She's fairly impressed. She's like, all right,
misdirection, my friends, misdirection.
She's like, all right, big man. She's like, well, fuck. She's like, that was the last thing. She's like, I would say her brother and sister-in-law are probably still down with their child. And she's like, that's the last thing I think my brother needed. So I appreciate it. First round's on me when, if y'all come back. She's like,
we always come back.
Now I'm going to have to kill you. So, because
besides, Braddock told me how cute he thought you were. We'd have to come back for him to give you a kiss.
Everybody roll a persuasion check or a perception check.
Oh. Ooh, 17. Come on, neon green, get hot. Let's go.
Yeah, those are good enough. Unless Austin has a better roll. Okay, good. So 2 16s and a 15.
17.
Oh, okay, 17. Sure, her head looks like a cherry fucking tomato. Like, she blushes her ass off. And she's like, oh, yeah. she's like, looks at her. She's like, this whole thing, even though that doesn't make any sense because no one talked about her clothing. And she's like, okay.
She's fine by herself.
Then, like, she
Ace totally made this shit up.
She kind of snaps out of it, and she's like, realizes that her niece did just get brutally murdered. Like, well, not brutally, efficiently murdered, but murdered nonetheless. And she's like, okay, I gotta go.
We'll go with sadistically.
She's like, do good things today. And you see her head back towards half past drunk. Sheriff's like, shit, I might need to keep you boys on the permanent payroll. You're fairly good at what you do. Odo's a real pain in the ass. I mean, I think he means well half the time, but the other half of the time, who the fuck knows? He's like, I appreciate that. You're going to have to teach me that trick.
It's just being, well, as charismatic as the day is long. And he winks at him.
Roll me a deception check.
Okay.
Because you certainly have powers.
Yes, no, for sure. That's a 16.
He believes you because I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I rolled a 9, but I got +7 on it.
Yeah. I was gonna give him a +0. So he's like, well, I guess I'll just have to work on I keep going southern. He's like, I guess I'll just have to work on my people skills then.
Okay. If we get any separate time at all, I roll as 21 for sleight of hand, so I could smack Ace upside the head for saying that shit to May.
I don't know. I mean, Ace is gonna know you smacked him in the head. Oh, what I think you need to do is roll an attack roll.
Oh, attack roll.
Yeah. Just your unarmed strike. It should be one of your buttons to click.
Yeah, give me a second.
Are you trying to hurt him or just hit him?
Just hit him.
Yeah.
Okay.
14. So, I think 14, that actually misses.
I see that coming.
Yeah,
and
so
it misses. No, it hits my mage armor. So,
yes, so he dodges.
Yeah, so it's a shove on the shoulder.
It doesn't do exactly what you wanted it to, but nobody sees it except Ace. Ace definitely knows it happens. So, yeah. So, have you told the sheriff?
What? You weren't gonna make the move? I saw your eyeball in her.
To make such movie, dumbass. Her niece just got murdered.
Did you see her smile?
Yeah, and then
she needed that.
And she automatically started weeping because she realized she shouldn't be smiling right now.
Sheriff's like,
we all have to find the light in the dark, Braddock.
The sheriff's like,
so that's the person with the pitchfork.
The sheriff's like, this is either gonna
I would never.
Sheriff's like, this is either gonna make her hate you or develop a really weird fetish. But anyway, he's up that way, and he points to the other end of the street. It's kind of like the same. Like the further you get away from like this well that I have up on Roll20, like the more sparse the buildings get. So he's in a hut up that way. I see you did tell him you're going to see the orc, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. He points it out. I'm guessing you guys are making a beeline.
Ace is gonna, as we're walking up there, he's gonna stay back and say to the captain real quick. 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'm getting tapped on the shoulder.
I'm gonna go pee real quick while he's handling that.
Go.
Hey, Jack.
Oh, is that I?
Jack says hi too if you can hear us. Yeah, he is ready for bed.
All right. Sorry. All right. So, what do you say to the sheriff?
To the sheriff. Oh shoot, he was gonna make a joke about what you said to Boz. Oh yeah, he said it could get really could be a fetish. He's like, you have no idea how kinky it could get. Wait until he has the giant demon wings sprout out his back. And he's gonna keep walking.
The sheriff just kind of blows past that because he doesn't know how to react, and he already said he's going to lead the way into this little excursion because he doesn't want you guys to, like, he doesn't want you
Start
guys
a
to
fight. Yeah,
just kicking a fucking door in his town when you don't really have concrete evidence that this guy did it.
Yeah.
So,
I think Nitsua would try to keep that from happening, but I can't guarantee that Braddock and Ace would not do that.
In response to what he said, I look at the sheriff and just shrug my shoulders. I'm like, apparently that's something I do. I don't know. I black out every time.
Every time I come. He's like, he just breezes past that too. He doesn't know what the fuck to do with that. You guys are a real puzzle for him. So he leads the way, and he gets about, I don't know, let's say maybe like 15 yards from like the hut that this guy's been setting up shop in. And he's like, well, there it is. I guess we ought to knock, huh? And everybody make me perception checks before you head up.
21.
24.
Dang.
20.
Awesome. So, wait, you have a +1 to perception?
Yep.
Damn, you're a better man than me. I would never have a +1 to perception.
I had to for this character.
I know.
Like,
I'm a perception and constitution slut.
I also have no disadvantage on insight checks. Like I'm kind of a slut and a glutton for punishment in those areas for Ace.
You're min-maxed in an unintentional way.
Yeah.
So what you guys see is you see a path. Like there's like a path to his house, or his hut, and off like the main drag, and you see a section of it that's a little bit raised up, and it looks suspicious. It's noteworthy, I should say.
Can we go take a look at it?
Yeah. Roll investigations on it.
2. Unless that's higher. I don't think it is. No,
4.
It's +1 as well.
Okay.
21.
Attaboy, Austin. Nitsua.
So Braddock, how you thinking? You thinking about May's butt right now?
No, I'm over her now. Because she could have some weird fetish.
I mean, you're always over her. I mean,
Right.
look at you. You're like 6'5", and she's like 3 foot tall. You're gonna be over her all the time. Even when she's on top, something on you will be over her.
Austin.
Man, escape that logic.
Right. Mitsua notices that this looks like some sort of rudimentary, like, pressure plate.
This looks interesting. Almost if it's some sort of device or hidden mechanism.
Yeah, so you guys can try to disable this if you would like.
I can use my thieves' tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit! Those dice over here. I just launched that.
Cracked my computer screen.
No, it went between the two computers in the big box hole between the desks.
Yes,
that is yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Not at all, but maybe.
No.
So it's gonna be Dex plus my proficiency, so that's +5. So 20 total.
Oh yeah.
To try to disable this.
You fiddle around with this thing. You hear a reassuring click, and you see the ground kind of like go down, and like it recedes, and nothing pops off. So Ace is confident he disabled this. I'm gonna tell you disabled it.
Yeah, that'll have it. I think we'll be fine. It was a pressure switch set to go off, but as always, Ace was able to handle it.
So as you walk along this path, I assume you continue towards the hut.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you walk towards the hut, you guys kick up some dirt, and you see that he had like a wooden spike trap, and it was it was DC 5.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, it was like DC 5 because he hasn't been here that long, so he doesn't feel welcome. Or at least that's what you would think. You haven't spoken to this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in an unfamiliar place, and you see that it was a wooden spike trap that had somebody stepped on it, it would have done some damage. But yeah, you're at the door.
Braddock, there's a door.
I'm not kicking this one down.
Let's come on, it's fun.
Fine, I'll knock with my feet. How's that?
That'll work.
What does that mean for me?
That means I gently kick the door.
Okay. So you kick the door, knocking on it.
Yes.
And
knocking on heaven's door.
Right. Excellent.
That's the doorbell.
So yeah. No, it's the one from The Simpsons that won't stop playing, which I think is the Carpenters. Anyway, so you knock, you hear some not rustling, but you hear movement. It takes a minute, and the door opens slowly, but not suspiciously slowly, just slowly, and you see a hulking figure, bigger than Braddock, certainly taller and probably wider, but not as yoked. Big brute of an orc, and he says, "What do you want?"
We have some questions for you.
Isn't the sheriff with us?
Yeah, the sheriff's there.
We probably let the sheriff talk, right?
I mean, I don't care.
I retract my statement.
Yeah, we said that we wanted the sheriff to ask the orc about its whereabouts, where it's been.
Okay.
Let him know
that's fine. I do. Yeah. If Boz, you're more than willing to retract. I don't care. But you're also. You feel free to start this. I don't give a shit. But you retract?
Yes.
Just so we can. Okay, cool. Just for my own sake. So Yaton goes, "I'm sorry to bother you, Kronog. I just he just he's like, we've got some questions for you. Do you mind if we come in?" He's like, "No, here's fine. What do you want?"
No, he doesn't.
He's like, yeah, fair. He's like, "What do you want?" And Yaton's like, "Boys, this is above my station. Fire away. Just try and be diplomatic." And he's like, "Kronog, this is Ace, slight gentleman here. This is Your Majesty Nitsua, and big boy, he's Braddock."
And I'm Braddock.
Yep, there he is. And he's like, "Fire away, boys. They just got some questions for you." And he's like,
"Why is your front lawn trapped? We had to disable it just to get in here safely. Trying to kill us?"
He kind of frustratingly snarls. He's like, "I haven't exactly been welcomed here. Not really sure who I can trust."
"Ah, I see. Have you heard of the recent disturbances in town?"
"What disturbances?"
Is, as far as you know, is there anyone in the town, particularly that has been hounding you or has been harassing you or you think might want to try and set you up for something?
It's like no one's been harassing me, but I haven't exactly been welcomed with open arms.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
They see somebody different, and they don't like it. It's been that way my whole life. Nothing new for me.
Well, to be perfectly blunt, that's just the way it is sometimes. But it seems like you've been around the world and you know what you're expecting. You've chosen a wonderful place to settle down. To get right to the point, I see you're not someone who gives or takes bullshit. We found.
I have a question.
We found there was a few people. He completely ignores you because you interrupted him.
He says, no. You've asked me several questions. I get one.
There were a few people in town recently that were murdered. This is not something that is common knowledge. Over the past few days, some people have been murdered, and we were asked to come in to investigate. This night, a mere few hours ago, there was someone who was also murdered, and there was very large footprints that do not match anyone else in this town other than you. We would like to rule you out as a suspect, and so we have a few more questions to ask.
Where are you from?
Why we are the three from the Shoe Bill.
He shoves a hand over your mouth, Ace, and it's fucking covering your whole face. He's staring into it now. And he says, if you're done, I asked you where you were from.
Where I am from, good sir, should have no bearing on this conversation or this investigation. We are simply here talking. We are simply here, not talking, we're here, what's the word I'm looking for? Having babies hard, man.
Investigating.
We were here to help investigate these disturbances, and we are here as merely as consultants.
He says, I understand that. I simply asked you where you were from.
That's enough. Get your
yeah. He let you go. Austin, do not muffle the royal brazier.
Why would you try to fill me up like that?
He does it again to you.
Let him go.
No, I mean, I don't want this to be turned into a strength check or like anything like that. But with
well, I mean, Braddock can tell him let him go. We can see where that goes in roleplay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting him. Ace isn't fighting him. Ace is just trying to talk.
This is what I'll do. This is what I'll do. I'll put my hand lightly on his arm, saying, "Please release my friend. He is a good person."
He says that's fine. I just wanted a simple answer, and he won't shut the fuck up. So
I was trying to tell you exactly where we're from.
I didn't ask you, slight man.
I am the voice for the Princess too. You can speak to me if you need to know any information from them.
He almost seems to increase in size, and he says, "Just let the man fucking speak." And I would roll intimidation against you, but I don't really know what you would.
That'd
roll
be my insight. Okay. I'd go with the insight always, and I have disadvantage. Ace is a coward.
Hey, question: don't orcs have advantage on intimidation? I think
don't know.
Half orcs do, right?
I don't know what the
or they have
racial benefit is off the top of my head. It's probably just proficiency. I got I think a 3.
Yeah, you lost.
I'm scared.
Yeah, he says, little man, just let him answer. This will go much more quickly if you just let him answer.
I'm sorry. I I will try to, but I believe he tries to dance around the point sometimes, and he won't
he's like,
tell you what you want to hear.
He looks at
he's
you.
Royalty. They're snobs.
He goes like this, John. Like, look at me. He goes,
and he's gonna stop.
He goes, just shut the fuck up.
Okay,
he's
I got it. I'll stop.
He's like, you look familiar. Where are you from? I've asked you one question. You've asked me at least 3. Just answer one. Also, everybody roll an insight check after he said, just answer one.
No, he said, I've seen you somewhere.
Right.
He says you look familiar.
Yeah, you look familiar. That's what it was. 2.
Okay.
I love it. I love this disadvantage.
Braddock, you can tell that he's fairly certain he knows who Nitsua is. He's just waiting to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Oh. Well,
I don't know what you want to do with that feeling. Nitsua, you get a less certain of the same kind of feeling. But you get a thing like, I don't, and you feel free to do what you want, but.
So I would say if it will help us with the investigation and help us find the answers to the questions of these murders, and I would tell him who I am. Basically, we are from wherever the fuck we're from, and I am the 5th son of the king, and I am here with the colony that we're doing. Like, this is.
He says.
This is who the fuck we are.
He says.
And when I say that, I want to do an intimidation check too, because this guy just pissed me off.
Okay, what John? What did you roll?
Not fantastic.
What?
What did you roll? Is it a insight check against it?
Yeah. That's what I usually do.
Is insight wisdom?
Hold on.
Yeah,
I want to use my point inspiration to roll that again, because this guy's. I'm gonna roll my intimidation check again.
Oh, nice crit.
Much
crits it.
The point of
that was a well spent.
Okay. No. That's cool.
And so I tell him pretty much like I want you to think like Queen Daenerys, right? Like he's never actually put his title down or put his shit down, and he's basically saying, "This is who the fuck I am. Now, can we please get on with this shit? People are dying."
Why didn't you let my vizier frickin' introduce me, you fuckface?
He says so. He relents.
I like it.
But he's not afraid of you. You did win. You won the intimidation battle. But what that is getting you is him saying, "Yeah, I thought so. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly where you came from, and I've been trying to get back there."
Well,
everybody.
I have a quick question for Nitsua. When he does his full introduction, does he call himself the sacrificial prince at the end?
I almost just spit my beer out because it's so funny because of who the fuck cares. But I also
cares so much.
Adam cares too.
No,
I care.
He
doesn't. Okay. No, I like it either way. I just had to know.
I would want him to, but he wouldn't have.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Everybody give me a...
Maybe he will one day.
Everybody give me a perception check.
5.
8.
8.
Okay. So... I did set it at 8 because he's big, but it's not hard to see. You two who rolled 8s, Braddock and Nitsua, you see over his shoulder, you see a shield-shaped banner, tapestry, wall hanging. It's not huge. It's maybe like 2 feet by 1.5 feet. It's not huge. It's hanging from a wall, and it has the Stone Shore insignia on it. The mountain The plateau with the waves that we've talked about before.
Okay.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Ace-
I've shown it to you before.
Ace starts going through his bag to pull out the list of names, and he's going to look for the name wrong.
Yeah, so you pull it
Or
out.
whatever this dude's name was.
It's it is Kronog.
Kronog. Okay.
Yeah, you see his name on there. He's from the first wave.
Your Majesty.
And this
He's
is
gonna
why
show
he
him.
knows who the fuck Nitsua is.
Yeah.
You two, he's probably never run into.
Not a chance. And Ace never says Shoe Bill Coast.
No, he says Coast Bill Shoe did kind of get me though this time, or whatever the fuck he said.
I've been thinking about that one for a week and a half.
So when I see
I
all
want to make a name. I want to make that the new name of the tavern and make up a
when I
song.
see all of this, I want to ask this dude his name.
You already know you know his name.
I haven't asked his name to him, and he hasn't asked to
So
tell
you
me.
you just want to make a point of asking him.
Yeah.
Because Nitsua knows his name. So go ahead, do your thing.
What's your name?
My name is Kronog.
What's your full name, Kronog? Do they have full names? Would I know they have?
I play on the Brazilian soccer team, and I just have one name.
I understand.
I'm like Cher.
Nobody watches Brazilian soccer. Come on now. We're from Stone Shore. We only watch Stone Shore, Stone Ball.
You respect
you
Sherry
come
so
on-
much. How about you share us with your last name?
Did you come on the first wave?
He heard Ace tell you that. He's like, you already know the answer.
What did you do when you got here?
I went to work.
Well,
How'd you end up here? What happened to everyone else?
It's a really good question.
We found 4 people trapped by a dragon. I slayed him, obviously. Ace the Dragon Slayer. If you'd let me tell you that earlier, you'd know how important I am.
He sighs frustratingly at you. Adam, am not over your shit. He is.
I'm fine with that. I'm
yeah,
perfectly fine with
I
that.
knew you would be.
I figured you weren't. I figured it was him.
He's like, well, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. He goes, a dragon.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
There was a dragon controlled by some orb and a sorcerer. We found a shithead, a young child, a woman, and a guy who was very useful.
I tell them their names because I would 100% know.
You certainly would. You tell them the names. The only one that seems to really register with him is Tipton Langley, who was the shithead. He's like,
Told you.
He's like, so Tipton's all right.
Well, he's still an asshole, but he's alive. Unfortunately.
He's always been kind of an asshole.
Yeah, still is kind of an asshole, but he is alive, and all of this is very interesting. I mean, this is all very interesting, and we have millions of questions for you. But right now, we need to focus on these murders, and clearing your name is the top of my priority list. And maybe you can actually help us.
I don't know anything about
Your Majesty. And Ace kind of nudges you. Why would you clear someone's name when you don't know if they're innocent? We haven't asked them any questions.
Because
that's how you investigate stuff.
because no, I would answer the question. Hold on, because Ace, we always presume innocence until proven guilty, and if we can prove that somebody is innocent, then we can continue to find those until we eliminate and find the guilty party.
He says after you say that, Nitsua, he kind of like looks around, like over you guys, like towards like Main Street, and he's like, if we're gonna do this, get inside. and he opens the door and like kind of like gives you the after you hand, and he goes to the left. And
Ace is gonna pay close attention to him to see if he's like untriggering any traps that he may have had set up in here.
You want to roll insight on him or anything?
Perception. Just he's watching him
Okay.
to see if he had stuff. 20 total.
You
To
see
see if he had anything set up, like triggered traps that he has to untrigger when we come in.
No, he what he does is he kind of like he's been like standing on the if the door was closed, he would be standing where the door would be, right? He's been kind of like cross-armed in front of you, making himself big.
Yeah.
And when he tells you to go in, he steps to the side, pushes the door open, and gives you the after you
Gotcha.
kind of thing. So like his hands have been exposed.
Yep.
And you know that he walked to open the door.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
You don't have any reason.
If I don't see anything, I don't see anything. I'm just keeping.
You don't have any reason to believe he has his own home trapped.
Yeah. But yeah, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're
He
fine.
had the yard trapped. We'll see.
I get it. I've aroused suspicion. I have to deal with that. So he says to the left, and the first like doorway to the left, you see like a sitting area, and it's got furniture that's appropriately sized for you guys, instead of halfling furniture that you've been dealing with.
Finally.
Yeah. And so you guys, you go in and sit down, I assume?
No, Braddock stands.
Okay. Where do you stand?
Wait, so how big is this place?
I don't know. A small living room, maybe 10 by 10. There's a couch and a couple of chairs.
Off to the side of the couch.
Here's, I guess what I'm asking is, are you standing by the doorway that leads into this room, or like or further into it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a mental picture of Braddock's presence in the room.
I'm more near towards the entrance of the room.
Okay. He's like, so he waits for you all to go in, and he walks into the doorway, sees you kind of standing near the doorway. He kind of looks you up and down. He's like, I see one still doesn't trust me. Then he kind of looks at you two, and he's like, probably none of you trust me. And he takes a seat in like a big armchair. He's like,
and I say, don't consider yourself special. I don't trust anyone. I don't show my back to anybody, other than these two.
He's like,
and I look at him and I say, and that's just like real recent too, by the way.
I don't even trust myself, so can't say I trust anybody else.
He's like, he kind of looks at Nitsua and Ace, and he like kind of just brushes you off, and he comes back to Braddock. He's like, kind of like your style. We'll see if that holds. And he sits down, and he goes, what the fuck do you guys want?
World peace.
Yeah, cool. What do you fucking actually want?
What do we want right now is to find out who's killing people in this town. We're trying to make friends. The second wave came. We're part of the second wave. We've brought hundreds of colonists. We're trying to start it back up. We're trying to survive right now until we can get word back to the crown and to everybody else. And just trying to make friends and see what the hell is going on this part of the world. We made some friends with some kobolds down south. Kobolds are friends with these halflings here. Kobolds told us, hey, halflings are in trouble. They could probably use your help. You guys can be badass. We are badass. Don't fuck with us. And we're trying to figure some shit out. What do you know of this town? And is there any reason why that you would know why people are suddenly dropping like flies around here?
He says, one thing at a time, big boy. He's like, I know you have a station, but it doesn't really play over here. He says, so you met Krog, huh?
Yeah, I met Krog. He's a friend of mine, if I can call him that. And my station over here is Jack Squat. Like, you guys, Braddock and Ace can tell that demeanor and language have changed more than normal. Like, I'm sort of settling down to his level and like talking a little bit more frank than you guys have heard before.
Are you, how much, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much hostility are you conveying? Because I feel like you,
are you just
Austin,
tired
are
of
conveying,
his shit?
No, I'm meeting his bullshit with my bullshit. I'm meeting his frankness and fuck offness with my own.
that works.
In my opinion, and in Nitsua's opinion, this is how you talk to someone.
I love it.
It's being pushy. So, and you guys can tell he's sort of responding. Like, that's what we're doing here.
This is a fun new side of Nitsua that I'm very into.
I mean, people are dying. A kid just died. I mean, he's a little pissed. This guy's being a bit of a roadblock, but he could be one of my subjects. This is, in to Nitsua, there's no higher calling than being a servant to the people. That's why he exists in his own mind a little bit.
You don't have to tell me, dude.
Well, right. So this guy's like kind of like one of his lost sheep, right? And he's like, hey, I get it, but
yeah, no. I'm telling. What I'm trying to tell you is that I, Adam, am very into this.
Yes.
So he's like, yeah, Krog's a good dude. He's got that good that I'm very into. He says,
you like that?
Krog does have the good, but Krog is also straightforward. He doesn't mince his words, and he's to the point. Now
he says after you say that, he says, look, you came to my home in the middle of the night asking me about murders in a fairly accusatory manner. So I'm sorry if I'm not welcoming you with open arms. Haven't been exactly welcomed myself here.
Yeah.
So you'll forgive me if I'm a bit on edge.
Your Majesty.
He looks at this dude and says, one moment, and looks over at Ace and says, yeah, Ace.
I think I have an idea. We need to offer this gentleman a housewarming gift. And he reaches into his pouch, pulls out a fat fucking joint, and sparks it up with a little prestidigitation and hands it to him.
He's like, impressive. And he takes it from you and
master of the arcane.
He kills the whole thing in one drag. And hands you back
one out.
And he hands you back a roach.
Braddock, here you go, and I spark up a fresh one. he hands Braddock the roach.
Yeah, I flick it right back at you.
Hey, what the heck are you doing? That's not very nice, and he hands you the new one that he sparked up.
Littering hand.
Littering hand.
He's like when he's exhaling that big, long, powerful drag, he says, "Yeah, that's stuff. It's been a minute." And
now that we're friends, just tell us everything you know from these 3 days. Where were you at these times? Do you have an alibi?
He says, I don't know anything about all of these events. He says, even if I gave you alibis, no one would vouch for me.
Well, we need to see all of your shoes.
He's like, he goes to another room and he's like, 1 pair of boots. What do you need? What more does a man need than 1 pair of boots?
Well, we'll need to see them. And can we take a look at the soles and remember back?
He tosses them at your feet.
Hey guys, hold on 1 quick second. My wife is telling me something.
That's fine. I gotta piss again anyway. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm gonna grab half a cigarette.
All right. John Go P, I assume. Everyone's muted.
I'm still here at Wapo.
Did John go take a piss?
Smoke break.
Oh, fucker. This game is close, though. Zach Martin is playing. Good for him. I like him.
It's a classic Cowboys playing down to their competition.
Yeah.
They do that all the fucking time.
Well, here's the thing. I'd say they're a fairly balanced run-pass team. And the passing games on Thursday nights are usually subpar. So, like, if you're not going to get the run going, you're not going to do a lot.
Pollard's out.
Oh, then definitely.
So, yeah, that's why I was mentioning that I'm fucked this week. Because Dak is my quarterback. He's had 3 turnovers in this game. But Pollard was my running back. And since James has Zeke, I mean, there's nothing really much I can do, you know?
Right. You guys, there's a guy on the waiver wire you can pick up.
It's a thin waiver wire. Dude, I've
Whatever,
lost.
dude. There's a top 10 back on there right now. Go get him. That poor guy. I bet when he saw that, he shit a fucking brick.
Damn, dude.
Oh, hey, there's a touchdown for you.
Okay. Good talk, babe.
Thanks, babe. When was the last time we had a fucking combat?
Been a couple weeks.
That Austin, I appreciate that answer because I've been fucking having fun.
I think it was the brain, but that was like a slice.
Yeah, and that was barely a combat.
What was that?
I said, when was the last time we had a combat? Austin said, who cares? And Boz said, the brain. And I'm like, that was barely a combat.
No, the brain is one of my favorite combats we've ever had because it was a crit hit. It shows how destroying a monster does not take away from how scary it can be. It can still be that monster especially was just as scary in death as it was in life. It was actually more scary the more you knew about it. If you knew nothing about that thing, you'd be like, that's weird.
For sure. So where do we leave off? Were you looking at his boots, I think?
Yes.
So, roll me an investigation on his boots.
Ooh,
trying to at least
20.
keep having
19 on the die.
I mean, that'll work. I don't need anybody else to roll. They appear to match up.
Braddock sees it as well. Seems like the same print.
Yeah. You guys. They it
Do you
appears.
know anyone else from the colony that would have matched your size and shoe?
Oh, all these fucking midgets around here.
No, from Shoebell Coast.
No, it was the biggest and the strongest. No, these are my boots. That was the biggest one there on the first wave. No.
These match the boots in the windowsill. Can you explain why your boots would have been on that girl's windowsill?
While Ace is talking to this guy, I am going to pull Nitsua aside for a second. So keep him talking.
He said, go ahead and say what you want to say, Boz. I'll tell you what, I'll even take off my headphones.
Okay, Nitsua.
Wave at me when you're done.
Wait,
Awesome.
why is the taking off?
At any point,
do you need to hear this?
Do you think this big bastard could fit through that window quietly enough to kill that child?
I'd have to ask Adam. I don't know why he took his headphones off.
Yeah.
We need you. If anything, I should take my headphones off.
John,
do we think that the window is big enough for this big motherfucker to get there?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been tight, but yeah,
he probably would have
possible.
Scuffed it up, or he would have left some
scratches.
Something.
So he said, "What did you ask him, John?" He says, "Can you ask him if he could explain that?"
Yes.
He says, "I've been in my home."
Would you mind if I took a look at your fingernails?
Sure.
He's going to take a investigation, I guess, or medicine. What do you want?
Yeah, whatever you're better at.
The same. I got a +1, but I rolled an 18 for a 19.
They're dirty.
I'm rolling hot now.
Yeah, when it counts. They're dirty, but you notice like a splinter of wood under one of them.
This seems to have... He's going to pull it out. This seems... unfortunately suspicious.
What are you talking about?
There was chunks of wood missing from the windowsill. You seem to have a chunk of wood stuck in your fingernails, and your boot matches the exact print. Unfortunately,
I am
and he pulls out his giant magnifying glass. I think Bill Ventura has solved this case.
Ace, what if he was controlled? What if his mind was controlled?
He stands up and he goes, "I am a proud warrior. You're accusing me of murdering a child? Do you understand how beneath me that is?"
This is
he's a little pissed now. You can tell
he's
he's
more comfortable for us than it is for you, sir. He stands up and says, "Calm down. We're following leads. This is how this shit works." And then he does his finger at the big fucking ogre. He looks over at Ace and says, "Ace, could this have been the same thing that happened with us?"
I'm gonna ask Adam something real quick. Are you still allowing suggestion to work to drive this thing out if it's in there?
You're talking about an intellect devourer?
Yeah, because you let me use. Use that last time.
You use suggestion to like test them, right? Like, because if you could control,
if I could control them,
if he would do something,
Boz still has detect good or.
Boz, do you still have protection from good and evil?
No.
Prepared? No. Okay. No. Then you can suggest. You can try suggestion on him. He's probably. I'm gonna have him roll a save because he's pretty fucking hostile right now.
I do have Zone of Truth.
Yeah, but that's not going to tell us if
he would be honest when he says he didn't do it because he doesn't remember because he's under mind control.
So that wouldn't affect his subconscious possibly.
So John, if you want to do suggestion, go for it. Wisdom save?
I suggest you calm down and let us try to figure out what's going on here. Yes, wisdom save.
Okay. Okay. I rolled a 15. I don't have a fucking stat block for this guy. But he is an experienced warrior, so I'm going to give him a +1 for a 16. I don't even know what your DC is.
That hits it exactly. So
okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, he kind of like shakes it off, and he's like, "You're coming into my home and accusing me of murdering a child. I get it. You have a job. But this is so far beneath me that you're lucky I don't just murder you where you stand."
Okay, would you rather have had the villagers come in here and done this for us? Would you rather have been taken off in chains? We talked to all of them and want to have a conversation with you so that we could talk to you like a person with dignity. Because that's what we do, and that's what we expect back.
He says, "That's all well and good, Your Majesty." There's a little stank on that. And he goes, "But there's not a single person in that village that I fear."
Obviously, but
the whole lot of them.
But you're living here, so you would probably not like to have the village attack you. You have to slice and kill your way out to then go off being another random person around here.
He's like, "You're right. I've been living here, but only because I can't find my way back."
Well, we can help you find your way back. That's
the only way to clear.
Then let's go.
We need to help these people. By helping us with these people, you are coming on board and a part of the team. I will take you under my protection if we need to, because that's what Your Majesties can fucking do. but only to people who play ball.
He's like, yeah, I'm giving you a little salt on it, but how have I not cooperated so far? He's basically saying, yeah, I'm giving you attitude, but I haven't. I feel like because what Adam is trying to do is to cooperate, but also convey hostility.
No, I get it.
So, like, he's like, yeah, I've cooperated, but you're starting to piss me off.
Well, I can understand how this piss you off. It should piss you off if you're a good person. But this is just the shit that we're having to deal with.
Your Majesty, if it could be, you are correct in thinking it could be a possession from one of those creatures. If it is, there's one way to clear your name, sir. We'll have to wait till tomorrow morning. We'll have to keep you here under guard until we are able to get Braddock to drive the spirit out of you with magic. He is a holy priest of the Shadow Realm.
He says, I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of your questions. And I'm just fucking tired. He's like, I guess if it'll get you out of my hair
we can,
and maybe get me back home, then you can crash here.
If we clear your name, we will take you back home safely, securely back to the coast of the shoes and the bills.
It's Shoebill Coast, you idiot.
Yes, that's what I said.
It's not, but go on.
We could get you back there, but we would have to clear your name here first. Unfortunately, there are beings on this island that can possess you and make you do whatever they'd like, and you will not even know they're there.
He says, do what you gotta do. I'm going to bed. And he says, you guys are gonna have to find a place to sleep. You can sleep here, but I don't have any spare beds. I'm going to bed.
And Ace grabs a lamp off his hip, hands it to Braddock, and says, Nitsua, Braddock, wake me up and when you need me to take watch. And he dips in the lamp.
Damn.
If you want to stop him before he does that, because you'd probably know what he was about to do.
Right.
If you have something to say,
put your hand over the hole in the lamp.
You could be like, hey, Ace, if you want to say something to me, I'm down. But you can also, like, if you want to wait till he gets out, like, you position your watch to wake him up.
Nah, I got nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Ace, you went in the lamp?
Yep.
Okay, so, I don't know. I don't really care where you guys are sleeping. Are you doing watches?
Yeah, we're doing watches. If we're suspecting somebody's being, there's a...
Totally fair.
Yeah, I'll take first watch.
So,
we got to keep an eye on this guy to see if one of those things pops out of him.
That's fair. Kronog leaves you guys. He heads out of the room, and like if you kind of like look and see where he's going, you see him go into the kitchen, and you see him leave the kitchen with a glass of water. And there was a doorway. I didn't tell you about it because he directed you to the left. There's a doorway that's to the right. So like if you were coming in the front door, there's two doorways on the left side and the right side. The first left is the living room you guys are in. The first right is a different room that you don't know about. If you peeked your head out when he left to see, which I'm just going to say somebody did, you see the back right doorway would have been like a kitchen. And then you see him leave the kitchen with like a cup and he's drinking out of it, presumably just a glass of water. You see him go into the front right room. And then, Ace, you're in the lamp?
Yep.
Okay. Braddock and Nitsua, give me perception checks.
21.
Cool. That works. And that works. So you see him leave the kitchen. He goes into the front right room. And you see him head back to his bedroom. And you see him carrying a long sword. And that's where we're going to leave it off, boys.